Hey mamas, thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Hustle Like a Mom. If you are interested in turning a basement startup into an internationally renowned brand, you're in luck. Because today I'm with Julie Cole, the founder of Mabel's Labels. Stay tuned for prioritizing, planning, and party of 6 kids. Ladies, I'm so excited. Julie has flown here to New York to be with us and share her tips with all of you. Let's start at the beginning of Mabel's Labels.
Right.
You launched it 17 years ago, and I think the catalyst for the launch is very interesting. So
For sure. So thank you for having me. It's so much fun being here. I'm gonna tell you, I think whenever we start a business, for you, for anyone out there, we usually have a why, and we have to understand our why we are starting a business. Why are we leaving the traditional workforce? Why do we want to do something that is very fulfilling, but also a lot of work? I often say that the best thing about being an entrepreneur is that I get to pick which 16 hours a day I want to work, right?
it's like the morning shift or the night shift.
Out of this 24 hours, which 16 do I prefer? Look at all the flexibility I have.
I love that, right?
Right? So my why was 2 reasons. One was I started with 3 other women, and we had noticed a product missing from the marketplace. We had been using masking tape on our kids' belongings and permanent marker. We're like, this is kind of crummy. There must be a product out there, and there wasn't. So, like good entrepreneurial mamas, we created one. And the second reason why we started the business was at the time, my then 3-year-old son had received an autism diagnosis. So I knew at that point I wanted to leave the traditional workforce so I could really focus on a really important part of his development, which was a therapy program. So I basically turned my basement into a therapy center and had people coming in and out.
And I think that that's something that a lot of women who watch Hustle Like a Mom understand.
For sure.
Because we're all about redefining what it means to be a working mom. I speak to a lot of recovering lawyers, recovering accountants, recovering this. Now, 17 years later, you are a mom of 6. How old is your brew?
Okay, so yeah, there's quite a crew of them. It's actually getting kind of easy. They're getting older. And so now they're like 10, 13, 14, 16, 18, and 19.
For anybody out there who's in their basement right now with a business idea, what is something that they can do today? And again, the world is different now, but what is something that they can do now to
kind of grow their business?
Yeah.
So, okay, keep in mind when we started, it was like pre-social media, right?
Right.
So that was crazy times because we knew that the mom market, the way we operate is word of mouth. You know, like we talk about products we love and hate, like it's our full-time job. We talk about them at the school drop-off. We talk about them at the side of the soccer field. But once social media hit, we were like, holy cow, this is amazing. This is bringing word of mouth. This is like a vehicle for it. And hold on, the moms own social media. We're on Facebook. We are starting to blog. And like, look at it, how many moms are like influencers now and really owning this space. So I would say if your audience or your customer base is moms, go where the moms are. If you're thinking about starting a business and you're considering, working from home and launching your side hustle or whatever, I would say just make sure that your entire family understands what that's going to mean and what that's going to look like. Because literally, at our household, Daddy would come home from work, I would hand him babies, I started the business with my sister, I would go to her house, go in the basement, I would make labels till 2 a.m., come home, get up with babies at 6 and do the whole day,
Do you feel now that you're on call more now, easier to access you because of social media and constant emails as opposed to maybe 17 years ago when we had less options? Do you feel that you always have to respond right away, or do you have barriers?
So I feel like when people complain about not having barriers, they probably haven't set up the boundaries themselves. So for instance, I do respond, I'm a quick responder, generally speaking, but I'm not then gonna complain when somebody said, oh Julie, I emailed you at 2 a.m. and you didn't email me back, because that was the standard I set up. People know to expect an email back from me at 2 a.m. That's on me. If I don't want that, I gotta rein that in. and I got to be able to be like, shut that laptop and not. So what I tend to do with the kids was always, hang out with them, put them to bed. They all went to bed at a sensible time when they're little, so that I could spend hours working at night. So I did a lot of late night, outreach, a lot of late night emails and that sort of thing. And I'm a bit of a night hawk. That's just my nature.
So that works for you.
That works for me.
I guess that the real takeaway is what you set up is what you get. And so
Yeah.
if people know that, for example, if you're religious and you cut yourself off on Friday and then maybe you start again Saturday night, that just becomes part of your routine.
Totally.
So don't be afraid if that's your reality.
That's right.
Personal.
You're allowed.
You're allowed.
And again, it's
business will
managing
continue.
expectations.
Yeah, and business will continue. Now, speaking of engaging and being able to shut off, but maybe having somebody else on your team, you talk a lot about delegating. So how is that a valuable business tip for anybody who's starting right now and maybe will start to grow a team hopefully in the future?
That's a great point. I do talk a lot about that actually. And I think it's because I wasn't so good at it at the beginning. And I think there's a couple of reasons for that. I think entrepreneurs, people who are like movers and shakers, like to do things ourselves. We're kind of control freaks. We think we're going to do it right. Well, here's the thing. If you're starting a business, you're running a business, and you're so busy working in the business, you're not working on the business.
Yes.
So how is it going to grow? If I was still in the basement making labels, that's a big problem. I don't know how to make a label anymore. And that's a good thing. If I knew how to make a label right now, there's something going on that's wrong. Because I should be out there making sure people are buying the labels and connecting with moms and doing what I need to do. And I can hire people to make the labels.
Right? I think that's so important. And as I listen to this, and I know that I always say this out loud, and I always need to absorb it myself. It's about this feeling of you're in the weeds of the business,
100%.
as opposed to growing it.
Don't put out the little bushfires every day, And I found for us doing the hiring of kind of the worker bee type, so the folks who are like working the production line and that stuff, that was okay. It was hiring managers and then actually having to let go of like decision making.
Ooh.
That was tough, but you know what? It was great, and we learned. And sometimes you had to let people make mistakes, and you also learn that if you micromanage people, they won't stick around.
Something else I heard you say once was, as an entrepreneur, allow people in your organization to feel entrepreneurial as well.
That's right. Let them be entrepreneurial, because if they feel like they're contributing in that way, they're going to be more innovative, and they're going to have more skin in the game, and you're going to sell more labels. That's how it's going to work.
Sell more labels, sell more necklaces, be the top,
100%.
chef, whatever it is that you
Whatever your gig is. So I like to challenge people rather than, we all have these like massive to-do lists, all the things that get done.
Yes.
Have a do not do list.
Ooh.
Start writing down all the things that you should not be doing and stop doing them. What can you be, here's a silly one that's on mine. I don't unstack the dishwasher. Yeah, I don't like unstacking the dishwasher, and I have teenagers who can unstack the dishwasher. And honestly, how's my time better spent? I have a 10-year-old with a very funny learning profile. So am I better off sitting with him and going over some of his stuff so he can process it better for school the next day? Or am I better unstacking the dishwasher? I know my value. I'm better off sitting with my kid.
You're big on business plans. What does a startup business plan look like? We're starting a business. What is that? What would you suggest should be in that business plan?
So honestly, I actually think that you can just go and Google a business plan, pull something off, and just start filling it out, because it will make you ask yourself questions that you may not have thought about. So you don't have to reinvent the wheel. There are many precedents out there. Just print it off, start working on it. And I feel like a business plan is always that working document. You can be changing it. It should be, you don't have it and then put it away and it gathers dust. Like, you should have coffee stains on it. You should always be thinking about it and going back to it. And you can make adjustments. I think having a business plan is something that it just gives you that little bit of focus.
A final question. Okay. What mantra do you wish that every mother out there said to herself on a daily basis?
Okay, so I actually have one I'm so glad you kind of put me on the spot. I've got many actually, but I would say that you should apply to your children. You should apply to people who you work with, who maybe come running in asking for favors, or your kids asking you to do things. Like a kid comes home and says, I need 24 cupcakes tomorrow. So my line is, other than, are you new here and have we just met, would be, your lack of planning does not constitute my emergency.
Oh, That was a microphone drop.
Hashtag, I'm gonna pick up that mic and drop it again.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, your
Right.
lack of planning does not constitute my emergency. Are the children watching?
Yeah, play this for them.
This was brought to you by two freaking hustling mothers. Yes! I love that.
Yay.
Julie Cole, you are awesome sauce. Mabel's Labels is the brand. Where can we find you on Instagram?
Well, you can find, first of all, go to mabelslabels.com, of
Yes.
course. You can find me personally at my name in reverse, Cole.Julie, and Mabel's Labels.
At Mabel's Labels. Thank you so much. Ladies, as always, do not forget to hustle your own special way.
Yeah.